What is going on, Cowboys Nation? Welcome back to the channel. Got a lot of news and notes to go over today. I should have made this video when the press conference that Mike McCarthy had happened, but time is very precious, and towards the end of the week, I didn't get a lot of it. So my apologies. This video is a few days late, but we're going over all this news regardless. So hopefully you enjoy the video. Before we get into everything, I would just like to point out that the majority of you are not subscribed to my channel that watch my videos. So if that is you, hit that subscribe button. Also a little bell icon next to the subscribe button to get notified anytime I upload or go live. Like I said, drop a like on this video and let me know down in the comments below everything you think of that Mike McCarthy said in this presser Thursday. So he started the presser with a comment on how he was going to change things defensively. Of course, he was asked about that. Comes to me as no surprise. I think that's the biggest thing us Cowboy fans are curious to know is how is the defense going to look different? Defense was bad this year, or last year. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. Allowed a franchise record 473 points in the second most yards in the team's history. Most of those yards came on the ground because the Cowboys, they were not good in terms of run defense. Statistically, the league's worst at stopping the run, which, knowing that, kind of confuses me as to why we didn't go all in on a defensive tackle. I mean, we got Keanu Neal's going to play linebacker, so that'll help, but I think a defensive tackle would have been a little smarter. But hey, I'm not the general manager of the Dallas Cowboys, so what do I know? But basically, when asked this question, Mike McCarthy said he planned to build on some things they did well in the final month of the season, which, hey, I'm okay with. I think the Cowboys defense played a lot better than a lot of people realize in that final month. There's a lot of guys we saw, like Trevon Diggs from like week 7 to 17, just amongst all rookies was one of the best corners in the league. Neville Gallimore down the stretch, Randy Gregory down the stretch surprised a lot of people in terms of what they could do. So the fact that he said he's going to build on some things that did well in the final month of the season, I'm okay with that. What doesn't sound good to me is when he said he expects the scheme to not look very different. Now that worries me because I think a scheme was the biggest reason why the Cowboys struggled so much on defense. They went from a 4-3 to a 3-4. Now, I don't know if he necessarily means they're going to stay in a 3-4 by saying he doesn't expect the scheme to look much different. Maybe that's just a bluff for other NFL teams to, kind of be like, oh, Cowboys are going to be easy again. We can just run the ball on them. So I don't know. Take it how you want it. Me personally, not a fan of it. But, we all kind of expect with Dan Quinn, the new defensive coordinator, to come in and run a 4-3 cover one scheme. So that's kind of what us Cowboy fans are perceiving. Newly acquired Keanu Neal will begin working out with fellow Cowboys linebackers in the coming days. It's nice to hear. Tyron Smith and La'el Collins look good in regards to the work they've been putting in this offseason. That's wonderful to hear. Tyron Smith, as we know, got his contract restructured a few weeks ago. From 2016 to 2019, he has only started 13 games each year. He only played 2 games in 2020. He was out the majority of the year last year. Speaking of being out last year, La'el Collins, our other tackle, the right tackle, he's coming off a hip surgery, did not play in 2020, and also did not, I guess, he wasn't in shape coming into the season, and that worried me, okay? So hearing Mike McCarthy say that Tyron and La'el especially look good, I'm glad to hear that, man, because anytime, it doesn't matter which sport, football, baseball, basketball, if I hear an athlete coming into the season is not in shape, that's not good, okay? That's not good at all. That means they haven't been putting in the work in. They haven't been taking care of themselves. Typically means that they're going to fall off. So hearing, like I said, that Mike McCarthy said Tyron and La'el both look good, that's refreshing to hear. He also said that the team will start using outside companies like PFF to aid them analytically in 2021. Personally, not a fan. I will say I think there's a lot of NFL teams that use PFF. We don't even know it. But if this is the Cowboys' main source of figuring out what's good and what's not, then, I'm not a fan. But, hey, if Mike McCarthy and his coaching staff wants to start, advancing themselves, I think a lot of other coaching staffs are using advanced analytics nowadays. Guys like Cliff Kingsbury, Sean McVay, even in baseball, Kevin Cash, he uses advanced analytics, got his team all the way to the World Series, and then it kind of blew up in his face when he took out Blake Bell. But that's a whole nother conversation, a whole different sport. I just think Mike McCarthy and his staff, like I said, are trying to kind of get with it, the new age of coaching where you're using advanced analytics to help better your team. But the fact that he's using PFF, like I said, I'm not a fan. I think there's some things that PFF does that's good, and some things that PFF says that aren't necessarily. I don't really know how to explain it. You guys kind of have to look at their website, and you'll understand what I'm talking about. Last two notes here. Despite a report claiming the Cowboys were moving on from Aldon Smith, Mike McCarthy said he would still like to retain the 31-year-old pass rusher. I am all for this. I thought the Cowboys were done with Aldon Smith. I thought they were moving on. But Mike McCarthy is the head coach, and he has quite a say in how the Cowboys are attacking free agency, along with clearly Dan Quinn, as he has brought in both Devontae Casey and Neal. Aldon Smith is 31 years old, came back this past year after missing 4 seasons due to off-the-field issues, had 5 sacks, 5 tackles for loss, 14 QB hits, 2 fumble recoveries, 1 of them for a touchdown, and most of those stats came at the beginning of the season. His progression kind of slowed down as the season went on, but Aldon Smith is 31 years old. There's plenty of depth at the edge position in free agency right now, so I don't think a lot of teams are necessarily chasing after Aldon Smith. You could probably get him for less than $2 million. If I'm getting 5 sacks a year at under $2 million, I don't care when the sacks come. Just get that guy on my team. And with Aldon Smith, such a low contract, you don't necessarily have to guarantee that money. If he doesn't play well throughout the first, few weeks of the season, then you just cut him. No big deal. Low risk, high reward. I think the Cowboys should bring back Aldon Smith. I really do. I don't see why they wouldn't. It just doesn't make any sense to me. Last on our list, Mike McCarthy announced Tyron Crawford's retirement. Also said the team is trying to re-sign veteran linebacker Sean Lee. I'm not going to get into too much with Tyron Crawford. It's just nice to have him off the books, I'll say that. Sean Lee in 2020 played 9 games, had 20 tackles, 0 tackles for loss, and 1 QB hit. Listen, Sean Lee is, if we get him back, depth, leadership, and coaching, honestly. I honestly thought that if Sean Lee was going to come back, it was going to be as a linebacker coach purely, but I guess they want to bring him back as a player in case injuries do happen, which it's very likely. I mean, this defense, not just the defense, the offense for the Cowboys was very injured last year. So, I understand why they'd want to be bringing back Sean Lee as a player. If he comes back, not that much money. I can guarantee you that. It'll be fairly cheap. But yeah, don't expect a Sean Lee re-signing to reshape the defense or anything. That is all I've got for you today. We've got a lot of draft videos coming up here in the coming days. Patrick Surtain, Kyle Pitts, guys like those. So keep an eye out for those videos. If you enjoyed this one, drop a like on the video. Leave a comment down below what you think of everything we went over today. And of course, subscribe to the channel. I will see y'all in the next one.